Once. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me, and pardon my being patient for the technical difficulty as I came and started to go live a few minutes ago, and my video and my audio wasn't working. I appreciate you showing up today. I am super excited to connect with you in this 12-12 portal energy. If you're with me, welcome. If you're with me, make sure to say hello. If you're on replay, make sure to leave a comment and let me know how this energy is impacting you and how this transmission and this activation assists you. If you are live, make sure to let me know, and I will have a question answer kind of at the end of this. I'm going to be starting here in just a couple seconds. I just want to check a couple things, making sure I'm live here, joined. Okay, welcome everyone on Instagram, welcome everyone on Facebook, welcome everyone on YouTube. So it appears that I am officially live now. So I'm going to get started and jump straight in to some powerful information that I downloaded today. I was not aware that I would be coming live today. Welcome, David. Thank you so much for checking in with me. I appreciate that. I can already feel the energy coming through. So I'm going to pause for a second and just see where to start, because there's going to be 3 parts to this. I want to enlighten you a little bit about the portal itself. I want to share with you some very specific things that you can do quickly in order to just harness this information. And then we're going to get into an activation before I answer some questions. Okay, so if you're with me, either currently now, or if you're with me, as a replay, please pause for a second, stop what you're doing, connect to your heart, and just feel the energy, the light coming through as I collect this information. So right now, there's a code that's coming in that revolves around love. And I think that we can all agree that in today's world, today's duality, that we have a lot of contrast. That contrast is a reflection of not just the collective contrast, but it's a reflection of the contrast that we have within ourselves. That we came here to embody and experience the ability to come from one polarity and achieve another polarity, but then in the flip side of that all or nothing concept, find the neutrality within ourselves. And when one heals, we all heal. So the more that we can focus on bridging our own gap of our own duality and our own contrast, the more that we can help the world. And as we move into this portal, the 1111 portal is an opening portal that opened up the gateway to the 1212 portal. 1111 represents the unification, the oneness of your higher self, your lower self, your masculine and your feminine energies, your wholeness of collecting your aspects and connecting to your higher truth and wisdom as you integrate and embody it. And your mind begins to analyze it, and you also reason it with your inner knowing, activating that a truth inside of you. You know what you came here to do. There's everything you need is inside of you. And so it's about connecting to that potential and activating what your truth is as we break down these paradigms of the past, as we went through this ascension timeline of this convergence of love from the 1221 2012 portal. That's when the ascension started in the convergence of a universal new year from the age of Pisces to the age of Aquarius. As we do that, and have been doing that, this year marks the mirrored reflection of 2012 to 21. Okay, 2021 and 2012 are mirrored reflections. So it's kind of like this closure of the first era of the ascension process. It's been a very much of a dark night of the soul collectively to clear and release inside of us what it is that we no longer serves us, basically, and what we need to let go of. And it's been some really challenging times over the last 10 years for a lot of people in a lot of realms. And as we're breaking down these things, many, many people know. But the whole entire earth is awakening and ascending to more of this higher consciousness. So, this light right now on the 1212 portal represents the DNA within ourselves, and that DNA within ourselves that is the light codes that and we embody, and we're shifting into 12 stranded light. So through this portal, as we go into not just the 1111 portal of the unification of self, and then the 1212 portal that is activating the 12 strands of DNA and light for the universe to support us right now, is also helping prepare us. And this is the gateway into the 1221 portal coming up here in a couple of weeks in order for us to usher in the new as we go forward. And what an exciting time. I know it can be challenging. I've been through my own challenges through this whole 10-year journey and beyond. I mean, even before that. But what an exciting time to be changing history, and that we we took on an assignment to show up here. So many people are waking up to, what is their purpose? So I'm going to jump into this bridgeway of what we've been doing, and that we've been breaking apart what's not here and letting go of what's no longer serving purpose. So how do we heal that? And we heal that through, as I mentioned, this love heals all within. So how can you do that within yourself? How can you find more love for yourself? How can you connect to more love with yourself? And one of the first things would be is that you are going through a process of awakening to your true self. So this is the first thing that to use this energy during this portal and today, and that we're going to do in the actual activation to activate your DNA here shortly, is to be able to awaken and your true self of who you are. Because everything you've done up to this point has been a program that has been encoded within your subconscious, within your DNA, within your generational codes that you came into this earth time and line with, that it represents a past paradigm, represents past stories and past belief systems and past thoughts and programs and actions and the way you've handled things. And so as we shift beyond this paradigm, this is multidimensional. So as we can awaken to who we are, we're letting go of who we've been. And that's a very painful process. That's part of the shaman's death I'm always talking about, that we're going through and releasing what is no longer serving us. So while we're moving forward, we're still letting go. And so to think that you are going to be fully beyond something, and to think you should have been through this by now, and to sabotage yourself, and to, look at like these sides of like, I'm going through, and the way you view it, your perception, I'm going through it again and I have to continue this. Know that this journey will not stop because you're ever changing. You will always be releasing inside of yourself. So the minute you can start to go into a place of honoring that you're going to be letting go of a side of yourself always from now until forever, you can find more compassion for yourself for the things that you're going through. And then as you awaken to this true side of yourself and you release these sides, you can begin to embrace who you're becoming, but most importantly, loving who you are in this moment. And this is a way to find more love for you and who you are, because you're finding more empathy, more compassion, more connection to your true identity of who you are. So this allows us in number 2 to access the soul's memories. And so that's part of what this timeline and this portal is doing that we're going through. As we access the memories, I invite you to go through a series of questions during this portal and timeline to ask yourself, to connect to yourself and connect to your heart. And know that, like, who am I? There's a lot of people. I was talking to a client the other day, actually a new client. It was a male client. And he had said he went around and did like a survey to all these different people of asking them, who are you? And he even said he asked his mom, who are you? And she's like, well, I'm your mom. And he goes, no, I mean, who are you? Like, what do you represent? What do you believe in? What do you desire? And all these questions. And so when he got to the kind of the end of telling me what he had done with all of these people, I said to him, I said, "Have you asked yourself that yet? Do you know who you are? Do you know what you desire? Do you know what you want to connect to, what you want to create, what you came here to do, who you came here to help, how you came here to help them, and what you can help them with?" And it really clicked because he's like, "No, I didn't even think to like do this for myself, to, wonder or decide or know like what is it I want, right? And who am I?" So in this process of what we're going through right now, energetically for this 1212 portal is really setting us up to one side of it is to continue to clear what is not serving us. And so I invite you to look at where you're at and look at what's going on in your life and take a look really deeply and be, what thoughts, feelings, and actions do I have that I've had all along for a long time leading up to this point? And even if they were good ones, even if they got you to where you're at and they served you thus far, because we're ever changing, like I said, now those things may no longer be serving you. So if you're falling into the trap of old habits and old patterns, it's giving you an opportunity to like reevaluate who you are, and does that serve you? And if it doesn't, make a conscious choice to choose to release that, even if it's painful. From a side of, when I say painful, when we have to like experience triggers around us, people around us, situations around us that is mirroring back to us what it is we need to see in ourselves. So everything that's going on that we don't like is literally, we're creating it to give us the experience or even a physical condition that we need so we can learn from that, see that within ourselves, grow from that, and to wake up. And that's to help us wake up to that this is us. This is our true self. This is what we need. And then this helps us again access the memories that we need out of that to determine who we are. And so as we move forward into number 3, and that's allowing us to then align with our power. Now, power is a very important thing in this journey because we've gave it away and we've also not owned it, and we've also lost it, and in many times, many lives, many dimensions, parallel realities, and in our childhood wounds and in our relationships, and even down to like our purpose and what we came here to do. It's real easy from a place of judgment to see through what others are doing and to look at them and be like, I don't want to be like that. And by seeing that within other people, it's really a reflection of yourself. So a lot of times people will see someone in power and they'll look at that and think that that's ego, or they'll think that that is coming from a place of that person um, still is in their masculine way potentially. But the person that sees that is literally the person that won't own their power within themselves and be able to look at themselves and be like, where am I not owning my power? Where am I not willing to stand up, show up, and speak up myself because I'm suppressed and I don't know how to express myself? So therefore, I see someone that expresses themselves as someone that is not doing what I think that they should or shouldn't do. So anytime you are projecting that onto someone else, it's merely a reflection of where you need to see yourself and what you don't like in that person. It will reflect back to you what you don't like in yourself always. And so, if you can begin to experience everything and everyone around you from a place of that they are your mirror and they represent who you are, you can begin to use the experience to collect your power back and to retrieve yourself, which is going to help you stand up, show up, and speak up in your own power, and to own that as you begin to move forward in this portal of the 1212 portal and beyond through the 1221 portal. Because the thing that's coming is we are then, excuse me, the fourth one, we are beginning to, in all this power, so it takes your power to attract what you want. And we all want more peace in our lives. We want more purpose. We want more passion. And we want partnerships in all of our areas of our life, love, and livelihood. And so until you've come into your power, you can't fully align with your highest good because you can't see or connect to the true you. And you are not honoring that. Therefore, you're not accessing the memories of your ability to be in a place of greatness because you are judging yourself when you judge other things around you of not representing who you are. It just happens. And so basically just to kind of recap this, because I'm going to go into the kind of the final part of that before we actually begin to like go through an activation to help you do these things. So you're awakening to the true self. You are accessing your ability to remember who you truly are of the soul memories. You are then aligning with your power within inside so that you can attract more peace, prosperity, purpose, and passion in your life, and partnerships in all areas of your life, so that you can then begin to create and align with abundance in all areas of your life. Because going forward in a place of an abundance is your birthright. It is what you came here to do. You came here to shift from one older dimension into a new dimension of who you are. And until you kind of do these things of awakening and accessing this gift that you've been given, aligning with who you truly are and your power, and then activating your soul memory of your soul codes, which is what we're going to do today as well. So you're activating the DNA in your body will help you remember all these things and do all of this so that then you can, on like the last one here is take action. And the action that you need to take is based on a commitment to all of these things I've said, to know that you signed up for this and you're going to get it done one way or another. And you can choose through free will. You know, you can make it hard, you can resist it, you can go through the pit of hell, you can go through the dark night of the soul, and you can repeat patterns, or you can choose to jump timelines and choose to catapult into a new dimension. And that is your choice. But I don't know about you, but I'm tired of repeating cycles and patterns, and I'm ready to do what it is I came here to do. And so therefore, it is important to wake up every day in a place of intentional action that says, I am going to show up at my greatest potential. I'm going to show up in a place that I choose to connect with my purpose. I choose to be able to enjoy and fulfill my life every day feeling good. It is a choice. We can feel like tired, we can feel drained, we can, and yes, we go through these experiences. It is exhausting. Hey, Stacy. It's exhausting going through this ascension process, but again, it is perception. What do you choose to see? Choose to see the highest version of you. And you can create that, and you can bypass and you can skip all of the chaos that you're creating, because the loop is your own chaos. And now is this energy will help you step out of the chaos. It will help you step forward into new dimensions, and it will help you propel into more of your greatness. And so that's why I showed up today, because this message came through to me like so loud and clear. I didn't even know I was going to do a video today, much less come live on all platforms. I'm on like 4 platforms right now about the same time. So one thing I want to say about this action before we go into this activation and enlightening of the DNA, and then I'll take questions at the end. When you take your actions, one way for you to be able to like intentionally make a connection to those actions is you need to, first of all, be aware enough and awake enough and willing enough to, and responsible enough and accountable enough to say, as I mentioned, that whatever's going on outside of me, I created. And if I don't like it, then it's my choice to recreate it. And so therefore, to ask your higher self, ask your your subconscious to come into alignment of oneness. You can do that by saying, I'm open, willing, and I'm ready to connect to my highest version of me. I'm open, willing, and ready to step into my greatness. Show me how. I don't know how, but your guides and your angels cannot help you if you don't ask. So, number one is ask them to show you, ask them to direct you towards that highest version of you. Two, from your subconscious standpoint, whatever's blocking you from connecting to the highest version of you, ask your subconscious to be released to this. So you can say, and this is a mantra I've been using for about a week that's really been helping me with some personal breakthroughs in this, is, and I'm just going to kind of go with this off the top of my head because I don't have it in front of me, but it is, I am ready to release the pattern in me that has created the situation. I am ready to release the pattern in me that created the situation. And so, in that, when you say that and you come to your own self and realize that you're the one responsible here, and you can go within and you can connect to your responsibility of that, and then feel in your heart, feel in what the thoughts that come through, link that to the responsibility of what's going on around you. It will take you on a path for you to see you, that true you that I mentioned, and to know that in that you may not like how you've handled things or how things are going. But in that duality of this bridge that I mentioned that starts with you, that is you fighting yourself, because a lot of times from the subconscious side of this, okay, Stacey, I'll say it one more time in just 1 second, okay? So that is your subconscious that doesn't want to know what it is that's blocking you, because you're comfortable where you're at. You're comfortable sometimes being stuck, and it's real easy if you stay trapped in your own mental loops in this. It's real easy to go through the cycles and cycles and cycles, especially if you're not reaching out for assistance and help outside of yourself. Then you are just trapped in these cycles, and your own self will limit you. A lot of times people have an issue connecting to someone outside of them because they're afraid of discerning information or somebody misleading them. And I'm not saying give your power away in this, but you need to take a passenger seat sometimes and be willing to allow someone you can trust to help guide you through this process. And by doing that, and if you don't have one that's like that, you need to take the intentional action that says, I'm willing to have someone come in and assist me and support me. And that person will show up when you ask for it. And when they can show up and help you and assist you in that, that's going to help you step out of your loop, because you're stuck in your own loop, because you're repeating your own cycle that you've created and not allowing yourself to see it. So step out of your loop by stepping out of the patterns and stepping out of your programming by seeking something that's in someone that can help you be able to see the true you that you're not able to see, because we've all got so far on our own. And now we're getting to this place that if you're still stuck on your own, it's because you're limiting yourself from seeing what it is you want to see, because it's too painful to see the true you or what you need to change, because it can be very comfortable to stay in your chaos. It takes a lot of courage to make the changes it takes and take the action it takes to step forward. And so, Stacey, here is that affirmation that I've been using. So I am ready to see the pattern in me that created the situation. I am ready to see the pattern in me that created the situation. It can also be a physical condition. A lot of people have been going through physical conditions a lot, even myself, over the last 2 to 3 years, these physical conditions that are blocking us from connecting to our greatest potential, because we're limiting through our ability to connect to more of feeling good or the vitality. And again, this ascension process is causing burnout, and it's causing us to be exhausted, and it's creating all of the emotional suppression has caused us to store all of this energy in our body, and the energy is also stuck in our body. So today, as we do these activation codes, we're going to be able to move and channel some of this energy that's stuck in your body. We want to get it out. We want to move it. We want to get these channels moving in your body, into and around you. So, the other thing that I did not finish in this that I mentioned about these cross pattern actions. So I kind of went off in another direction that I just got pulled to share about the taking action. On the other side of that, not only do we create our own limitations through our own thoughts, when you go to change the patterns that you've been, doing, if you're getting into a place of discernment and can't choose how to split a hair in the dichotomy of both sides of what it is you're trying to assess in the direction or the action you should take. And this is where that duality comes in, because truth exists on both sides. It doesn't matter where you are, but on both sides of what people see in polarities, it takes both. So when it comes to the split, technically, that is truth on two sides. That is the truth of two people or situations or experiences, and takes both sides to have one. So you cannot have light without shadow, right? So you have to have shadow and light, and it's about bridging the shadow and the light. So, yes, you're right. It's so much about choices. Yes, indeed. Thanks for sharing that, Christine. And hello, Heidi. Welcome. Thank you for joining. And I will follow up with everybody's messages after, and also follow up with questions, like I said at the end. But in this duality that I'm talking about, it is so hard to discern because it's splitting a hair. Like, we're literally have some choices that we've gotten down to that make us feel like we don't even know which direction to take, because of the fact that they're equally important. And they're a part of what we've already been learning. And they're a piece of like what it is that we've collected from our suppressed sides. And they're also like a part of our greatness. And there's one side of us that's going so much power. It's like, okay, I got to stay in power, and I got to make a choice that brings in power. But on the flip side, we might need to be making a choice that keeps us in grace and it keeps us in check. And it can come down to, well, what's right, grace or power? And they're both right. So it's a matter of, how can I stay in grace and power within myself? And how can I like learn to navigate this balance between the resistance and the surrender that is going on in this inner battle within myself? And how can I be able to harmonize that, or bring balance that and harmonize that with everything around me at the same time? So know that when it comes to splitting that hair, both sides are right. And the way you bridge the gap, and this is what I was saying, and this is, you learn this for yourself, you learn it for the world, and this is why our world is divided, is because both things exist. And it's about, how can we honor, accept, and acknowledge the contrast and not judge it. And the minute everyone can stop judging the contrast and learn and know that that contrast is how we see the opposite, how we honor it, how we accept it, how we love it, and how we can, stop judging it. And again, when you stop judging it and you step into that and you honor it, you dissolve the separation that is taking place here. The separation is shifting us out of alignment with the wholeness and the greatness that exists in all that is. And that's within ourselves and within, everything around us. So, all right. I wanted to give you that energy upload of information. If you're just coming on, go back and maybe listen to the few things that I've mentioned about this 1212 portal and the history of it, as well as some things that we're learning through this portal. So all these things I just said to you are happening to us through this portal. And now let's bridge that gap within ourselves with the activation of some of these codes and some of these things I've just mentioned. And this is totally going to be coming from a place of live. I have no idea what's going to come through. Okay. So all I know is it's going to be super powerful. And whether this be on a replay or live, please let me know what has come up for you either you need to release, or that you're activating, or you're connecting to, that's your greatness, and in the comments. Okay. All right, let's get started. So if you're present with me now, whether it be live or on replay, be sure to close your eyes and connect to your heart. And breathing in the love and the light of the highest divine order, connecting to more of the high frequency energy of the galactic team that's coming through that Palladian, the Sirian, and the Arcturian energies. The platinum light that is touching down on Earth today during this portal and going into the 2020 realm and beyond. These legions of light are here to support you as you connect to your true self and unlock your hidden identity of what it is you came here to do. It is important to stay present and to stay connected in those times and those moments of not knowing what direction to take, but knowing that in your heart is where you will find the solitude of serenity and stability and sustainable love that it is you desire. And you have an invitation today coming from your higher self and your guides and angels, and especially that Christed love of Christ, that unconditional love vibration that aligns and attunes with your golden heart that you came here to experience and connect with. And to know that it is this Christed love that will lift you up and that will allow you to lead and go forward in a place of clarity and connectivity to that which you are. And again, take in a deep breath as you bring balance to your brain and your body and your being, beginning to soften the thoughts. Slip into the moment and the presence of you and the space. Feeling that light begin to shower over you, the diamond platinum light that has a gold hint to it. As it rains over you, the ability to feel loved and filled with abundance, to activate from the higher self in the heavens into the heart, and anchoring that light in, through, and around you, connecting to the core, Mother Earth. And like an owl totem is coming through now. You're unlocking the wisdom and the truth inside of you that you came here to remember. And the words trust, trust, trust is coming through. It is safe to trust myself. It is safe to trust my power. And it is safe to trust that which is around me, because that is what I've created. And in comes an enveloping of the golden flame mixed with the violet flame, helping to transmute, helping to release anything that no longer serves you. We're going to ask that with your permission, first of all, with your permission from the higher self and your knowing and your reasoning and your logical self, that side of you that is higher, that wants to come in, agreeing and allowing that to come through, and connecting to the subconscious memories asking that subconscious block to come forth to be seen. And we're going to take a little journey with that right now, asking your higher self to unlock the true self, asking your subconscious to release the block and to take you through a timeline to release any memories that need to come forth for you to connect to the reason why you lost who you are to begin with. So, what is blocking you from your power? What is blocking you from your truth? What is it that you are not willing to own? What is it you're not willing to see? What is it you're not willing to connect to from your true self, your higher self? Again, taking a deep breath as this energy begins to continue to come within and immerse every cell within your being and body into the DNA of your light, activating that DNA within you with the light codes that are coming through to support you during this time. And these light codes are connected to the Christed love of the divinity and the divine that is heart-centered and represents your ability to remember who you are, to remember your divine self, your true self, as you return to the innocence and restore your ability to connect to a natural state of being that you originally connected to before you separated from divine light. We're going to call in that light that you've released and separated from. We're going to call back that light. We're going to call back the power in any time, space, realities that you have given away or you've not owned or that you have been robbed of. And especially in this lifetime. And we're going to ask that all the traumas and the experiences that have created memories within yourself and your body, that those memories and that DNA, that it begins to relax and open up, and that the meridians and the channels begin to vibrate at a frequency of your highest and truest self. Opening, allowing, connecting, and awakening that which you are. And breathing in again that love and that light. Feeling lighter and lighter and lighter. Feeling the warmth and the peace and the love begin to wash over you. And your heart begins to open as an activation of the heart takes place. Releasing the pain, releasing the stories, releasing the abandonment and the betrayal. Letting go of those wounds and those traumas that have caused you to put up walls, that's created an armor around you. We want to let down that armor. We want your body to begin to open, relax, soften from the thoughts into the being and around you. Filling up your space, your mind, your emotions, your body, the cells of your being, the blood, the bones, everything within you, filling up with light. Unlocking the true self, aligning and bringing that in with that light, connecting to your heart. and activating the starlight body around you that holds all the memories of your soul's blueprint, awakening those cells within that blueprint, activating your specific codes within. And going back to that original question that we talked about earlier, who am I? Who am I at the core of my heart? Who am I at the core of my knowing? Who am I beyond this body? And it is, I am light. I am love. I am one with God. I am one with all that is. I am the universe. I am whole. I am complete. I am one. And I call back all the energy that I have released and gave away that has not been something that I have known how to embody or embrace or integrate with. I am open, I'm willing, I'm ready to receive. I feel guided for one moment to hold some space here as this light comes in of who you are. Remembering your true identity and awakening to more of who your highest version is. Activating your spiritual gifts, owning them, connecting to them, believing in them, believing in yourself, and most importantly, trusting in what you feel. I'm open, willing, ready to trust myself, to believe in myself, to believe in this journey, to connect to more of who it is in my divine state. I am a reflection of the divinity. I came here to be a radiant being, and I will choose to take action on a daily basis to show up and share myself from an authentic place. As I begin to be more transparent, more vulnerable, more raw, and more real, I can begin to show up in a state of my true nature and stop hiding myself. Being willing to not just access these gifts, but own these gifts so that you can begin to, with clarity, see that your path and why you're here is part of the purpose and the mission that you came here to experience. And while you're searching for it out there and you're trying to connect to it out there, know that it is inside of you already. Your only purpose is to show up every day and to experience a place of love inside, not outside. That is the authenticity of passion. That is giving you a state of being that says that you are an extension of God. You reflect and radiate the light that God is. And that your light will always outshine your darkness. And that the closer you are to God, the darker it will be. And that the more light you gain, the more darkness you have to experience. And that is the duality coming in to create the wholeness and the oneness of you. And as we are moving forward from the 1111 portal into this 1212 timeline, and that we're activating all these codes within ourselves and our being, from the higher self, unlocking that truth, opening up the soul star and bringing in the divinity, awakening that third eye from a place of being able to see more, create more awareness, more ability and willingness to see the true nature. Being able to come in and through that throat chakra to be able to heal all the times we have suppressed what we felt and not been able to speak our truth. Being able to not just know our truth, but to speak it is huge. And your ability to be who you are, to know who you are, and to express who you are. And through this process of bridging this gap in these dualities in the shadow and light, expanding your heart through the emotional intelligence of stop shutting down and suppressing how you feel in any given moment. The minute you don't feel well, stop sabotaging yourself from your brain and start to find the love for yourself through the process of your ability to find compassion and empathy for that inner child, for that soul memory that really is just a purge of your releasing. And that way you can purify your being and your body and your brain to be able to connect to more light. Let go of the resistance. Open up the power center. Allow yourself to be activated with that golden light in through your solar plexus, connecting to your inner power, opening, expanding, elevating, and connecting to the realms of heaven. Bringing in your power, we're going to ask to call back your power from all time, spaces, and realities since the beginning of time and the inception of your soul's carnation. Bringing that power back, calling it back in every time, space, reality, parallel reality, into all dimensions, all languages, and all cultures, and all conditions, and especially during this time. Holding space while we bring all that power back in, through, and around us. And breathing in as you can begin to feel this coming through, washing over you from a place of an unknown sense of what is this? Who am I? We tend to look outside of ourselves when we don't want to see those shadows, and we tend to feel there's something around us we don't identify with, but it's our dark side that we've separated from. Begin to shine light on it and it will fade. And then you will be taking back your power to begin to connect to that side of yourself you've separated from. This is calling in the power now for that. There you go. Breathe it in and let it go and feel that begin to lighten up. There was a lot of deep, heavy energy coming through with that. Take a couple of deep breaths as that begins to get lighter and lighter, and release any shadows that is blocking you from feeling and connecting to all of you and to owning your power, because in that your power has been robbed. So you feel like if you have power, it is not safe to have it because it's going to be taken. Or you might have used your power in a place of it being harmful and you're afraid to own it. So in that, the affirmations are, I am powerful. It is safe to use my power, and my power is safe. I am open, willing, and ready to own my power. Releasing all of the pain, the shadows, the connection to abandonment, betrayal, stories, limitations, cultural conditions, belief systems. Stop being a victim and choose to be a victor. It is time to rise up and transcend these limitations. No longer choose to be this victim, because if you stay in the loop, you're only staying in your own cycle and creating your own chaos. It is nothing outside of you. In this timeline of this portal, it's about going forward free and sovereign and moving from this victim to the victor. Okay, there we go. There was a lot of resistance in that. So I'm going to hold space for that resistance on this collective scale, because collectively there's a resistance here. And if you're feeling resistance to your own power right now, choose to take a conscious breath as you make a conscious choice to know in any given moment, you're free to decide. In any given moment, you're free to decide. There we go. We're coming together here, whether in live or replay. I want to create this group collectiveness of oneness right now. And we've been doing it, and it's been magnetic, and I can feel the power around me in all of this. And it's beginning to be so powerful that, and so magnetizing, that it's almost like a state of like imbalance or dizziness. All right. And so if you're feeling this sense of overwhelming or overstimulating right now, I want you to know, because that's the magnetic pull of the collective right now. And so let's collectively choose to release this resistance and to call in that higher energy, bringing balance and oneness, and bringing love to the contrast, love to these dualities, loving the opposite sides, loving the shadows, loving the light. And bridging the gap between ourselves and between our togetherness here and between the laws of love in the universe. And I'm going to hold space now for an activation and a download of some abundant codes that is awakening and attuning to your higher self, your magnetic light body, your inner grid, and anchoring and embodying into the core Mother Earth, from the heavens to the earth. Creating a download, an activation of your soul light body with abundant codes of light, connecting you to an ability to awaken to your true self, your true abundant nature. Remembering who you are by letting go of what doesn't serve you. Aligning with your power and making it a conscious connection to this energy and this light. And awaken and expand your awareness, your light body, anchoring this light in through your sacral and your root chakra as we begin to connect this abundance into the sacral chakra. Aligning the higher divine innate intelligence with the sacral creation of the Kundalini energy into your heart. And being able to connect to the root energy of I am enough. I am worthy. I am willing and ready to be all of who it is I came here to be. And another deep breath as you begin to embody this light. And I want you to drink lots of water today, possibly rest, and definitely journal. And make sure, whether this is live or in the replay, to let me know how these codes and how this energy has helped you open and awaken, how you've connected to your true self. What are you waking up to release? What are you waking up to who you truly are? What actions do you plan to take to go forward in your true nature and your true identity? Holding space now for a sense of peace, purity, purpose, passion. Feeling light, feeling love, and being able to connect to all that is from a state of being able to view outside of you the acceptance of that which it is, accepts that which who you are. Imagining now that we connect from heart to heart, from my heart to your heart, and the collective heart of either in this group now on all platforms, and also within everyone within this live transmission and those watching the replay. Just like the Care Bears, we connect through the heart and the diamond light and that rainbow light. Imagining your heart releasing rainbow light in the form of an archway, in the form of a fountain of love and light and oneness and peace and purity. And imagine in the center of this connective, collective energy that we are creating together, and that we're creating a pool of this light through the vessel of the liquid love of God. That vessel begin to fill up and create a blessing for the entire universe, for the entire collective, for the galactic, and also for, most importantly, Mother Earth right now. Mother Earth needs healing, and that's why we're doing all this grid work in, through, and around us. And that this portal going forward is your ability to tap in to this grace and power, to make these conscious choices and efforts to go forward, to bring into form your reality, and your reality, that which you came here to do, be, and have. No more excuses. If you're finding yourself making excuses for anything lesser than you deserve, you have the power and the choice to choose that don't have to give my power away to that situation, circumstance, or limitation. I choose to see it from a place of love and light and higher frequency. I choose to show up at my greater good. And if I feel bad on this day, that is acceptable, that is honorable, and that is okay. And I choose to love myself anyway. I choose to accept myself. I choose to honor myself for wherever I am, whenever. And staying in a sense of presence while taking action towards our dreams and desires, and bridging that gap between where we are and where we want to be with love, creating that oneness within ourselves, wholeness, to bring together a collective force within, through, and around my life. And so it is, and so it be. It is done, it is done, it is done. I want you to take another really deep breath as you begin to connect to this light and coming back into your space and your body and your being and your brain, coming into that oneness. I thank you so much for showing up and sharing this space and this light with me today. I am available to take some questions now. If anybody has questions, please feel free to share your questions, and I'll hang out for a few minutes answering a few questions before I sign off. So again, thank you so much for showing up. And I'm just going to check and see if there's any questions coming through. Anyone have any questions? Physical conditions. Anyone else? Okay, so definitely a lot of physical conditions going on. I'm going to touch on that one. Oh, thank you, Stacy. Thank you, Stacy. This was totally not planned. I just showed up as guided today. That's awesome. I know you are, Stacy. You're always showing up doing lives every day, and I always I sometimes catch in on them, and I always enjoy your lives, Stacy. So thanks for showing up in a place of sharing your love and your light, and you are very consistent at putting your energy into action, and I can't thank you enough for contributing to the humanity of sharing your light, Stacy. Okay, so Nicole, okay, so physical conditions, anyone else developing them? Okay, I have been. So I'm so glad you showed up today, Stacy, and I'm so glad I did as well. So, okay, let's see. I'm going to answer the physical. I see a couple ones on the physical stuff. So I'm just going to kind of read a couple through and then I'm going to talk about it, okay? He was diagnosed with schizophrenia and healed the physical condition. Okay. I'm just going to read a couple, like I said, and I'll talk about that because that is a very good comment about even just the schizophrenia idea. Okay. Oh, thank you so much, Angie, for saying that the comment on that was a beautiful live. Thank you. Okay. So let's talk about the physical conditions. Thank you, Cosmic Light, for your feedback. Oh, you felt anxiety when your inner child showed up. Yes, I understand that. So we can have that and create those physical conditions just by asking to release this stuff can bring up physical ailments. Okay. So everything I just said about bringing up that subconscious programming and we ask to show us what it is, we have to really be ready to see what that is, or we can really run from it, like I was saying, and not want to see what it is that we're trying to see. So, all right. Now, I need to tune in to guidance on where to connect with this physical condition. And I will talk about the mental aspects and the physical aspects. So when you talk about schizophrenia and experiencing that, that also is like from a sense of connecting to like a mental realm. So I need just a second to collect a lot of information I want to share on that because that is like probably a video on itself. But so in our soul's contract, we not only chose experiences with people to trigger us and to create trauma for us, our body has trauma within it that we've experienced from multiple timelines and dimensions and parallel timelines and realities that has created trauma in our body, even all the way back to Atlantis, when we had the fall of Atlantis. That created a traumatizing to the soul. And because that was traumatizing to the soul, basically what that has done is it's created memories in our body that I was talking about, and the memories in the body are creating these we're reliving the trauma, let's put it that way. So sometimes because of that we have to go through and we set ourselves up to re-experience situations that trigger us to recreate the trauma so that that experience comes forth for us to feel it. Now, how that connects to the physical body is because we're not one dimension. We have our soul body that experiences everything at the being of the soul and the memories within our soul We have our mental state that has the higher conscious wisdom, the subconscious memories, and then the connection of our right and left brain that is a reasoning and a knowing that we're trying to, I mentioned earlier, create oneness in that. And so we're trying to bring our higher self in and release our lower self, and then come in it from a analytical versus knowing aspect of who we are. And we have been trained and taught all these conditions that have been subconscious in our memory bank, that has been limitations of belief systems and cultures and conditions that have been placed on us, not to mention we've placed them on ourselves. And then when these mental aspects of ourselves then create belief systems that put us in a state of dis-ease, because the mental loops that are running create a feeling inside of us. And the feelings inside of us then begin to be what connects to our emotions. And our emotions is how we send out these signals to the universe based on how we feel. But what happens is we sabotage it through the brain and say it's not okay to feel this way. It's not okay to experience this. So we then begin to suppress those emotions, which means they're stored in our body. And all of that emotions then gets trapped in our body. And we have, a rigid mind creates a rigid body that creates a rigid life, basically. So as we began to awaken to these memories, and we begin to connect to more of our emotions, and that means we have to feel things that we have ran from our entire being and our life and multiple lifetimes, that is coming back to the surface for us to remember who we are. And this is why I was talking about this earlier. And we really experience and create experiences to trigger us to bring all this up, to purge it. But inside the body, then in the suppression, if after so long we have all these things that go through a file system, no different than the computer we have, or any filing system, that we compress them also like a trash compactor if we suppress them. Eventually, let's use anger for an example. So anger is like one of the number one causes subconsciously to cancer. And if we don't release that energy and that emotion, it comes out and manifests in a red flag in our body that says there is a problem, and we disconnect from the cellular activity in our body that functions properly. And not to mention, I have to tell you, and my chiropractic background is a piece of where this goes, is that our body should be in a state of alkalinity. And a lot of people eat nutritionally to alkalize our body through a state of, say, fruits and vegetables, and a lot of vegans and things like that. That is great to do that. But I want you to know that your thoughts are the thing of 90% of the ability to alkalize your body come from your thoughts. Only 10% is nutrition. So the more that you think you can or can't, or place these limitations or create these loops, you're setting your body up to operate in a state of dysfunction. And so in this dysfunction now, we can no longer live in dysfunction based on the ascension process of moving to higher frequency. So the body has also been going through this ascension version of like being able to support more light as we activate more light inside of us. And we are then purging the soul memories. And the more light we carry in our DNA, the more the shadows inside of us can no longer exist, and it wakens that up, and we're releasing it. And it releases it through the manifestation of some ailment. And the ailment that you have is connected to your belief system as to whatever you're believing you're creating in your body and the physical manifestation. And the area of your body is connected to the type of thought or emotion that you have. Okay. Now that would take a lot of information to share with you. Those are things I work with people one-on-one. If you're interested in that ever at all, I do help people with that. And, you can connect to my website, twinflamexpert.com, or I have links below also here on YouTube. But in this purge that's taking place here, and in this manifestation of recreating these things and purging the stuff out of the body, We are right now, as a collective, having more ailments in the body than we've had collectively and maybe all of history. And that's where COVID is playing a role in this. And that's also where I see, and I had COVID, like a really kind of bad case of it. And I have an entire book and information coming on this. But that experience will address your weaknesses and will cause you to feel bad or attack whatever system you have in your body based on what you need to see, feel, and heal within yourself. And so that's why COVID can't be identified to where and what is one thing, because it's like an energetic virus that's coming in to attack your energetic system for you to cleanse and heal that energy system in your own being. So when it comes to all these ailments in the body, if you're wanting to release that, you first need to see what emotion and what pattern you've been creating that caused it to begin with. I'm going to give you an example with this, and just a couple really easy ones. So if you have issues with your hands, okay, your hands are how you create things and how you bring your mission into life. So let's just say you're having something going on with your hands, okay? That represents your ability to create. And if you are not using the energy to create, let's say, your purpose, or put that energy into something that's going to be productive or towards something that's coming out of a positive manifestation and alkalizing and transforming the trauma state of our experiences, and we internalize them versus alchemize them, meaning we transform an energy of low frequency to high frequency of, say, fear to love, or anger and hate to love as well, then we are being stuck in the lower frequency, and then therefore we are manifesting lower frequency ailments that are connected to certain areas of the body based on the emotions. And I'm going to use feet for an example, because feet represent how we go forward in life and in all areas of our life. So if you're having an issue with your feet, or even a leg, or even a hip, it can represent your inability to move past where you're at and to move forward where you want to go. Okay. So letting go of your restrictions and your belief system that's blocking you from not being able to move forward can help you physically let go of why you've created the situation to manifest the pain that's blocking you from physically moving forward. Okay. They can really connect and relate. So then when you connect, say, I'm going to bring back to the schizophrenia side of this. Okay. First of all, we're not just healing this for ourselves. We're doing this collectively, and we're doing this emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually, in every dimension of our being and body. So we might need to heal like all of those dimensions. We need to heal our thoughts. We need to heal physically, maybe the way that we do eat, or the way that we do take care of ourselves, which is, these things are called self-love, when we call back the power and can set loving boundaries and stand up and show up and speak up for ourselves when it hasn't been okay we felt guilty for doing it, or we haven't given ourselves permission to do it. So these red flags, these symptoms, are a representation of the dis-ease that's been in our body, that eventually over time, enough red flags causes disease and ailment. Those ailments enter your aura and your light body and your energetic field, basically your biomechanical energetic field around you, before it enters your body. So we have sometimes to heal ourselves, we can't just heal the body. We might need to heal the soul, or we might need to heal the energy, or we might need to heal the thoughts, because until we heal those things, we can't heal outside of ourselves. And then we're not only doing it for ourselves, but because we're alchemizing this energy from within ourselves that's going from a low state to a high state, we're doing that collectively. So when it comes to things like mental illness or schizophrenia or these things, These sometimes are the patterns and the thoughts that have come from generation to generation that we're clearing. It can also be from the collective clearing of being an empath to absorbing that energy where you're taking it on and you're clearing it for other things and other, the collective around you. And the way I describe this, because I went through this with COVID, with my energetic system being attacked and having hypersensitivity, and I felt like I lost my shield that protected me and was a form of protection. When I lost that field of protection, I felt tapped straight into the collective energy, and I was transmuting shadows in my life that were even mental shadows. I've never had anything with mental illness, and there was mental things that I went through that created these mental states that caused me to experience all these psychosomatic experiences of psychomatic trauma. And it was because it's like the filter's gone. So you can't filter out the energy between that collective energy and your own energy. And next thing you know, you have all this mental state that's not just your state, it's the state of the being of the collective as well. So both are happening. It's happening from the inside out and the outside in. And so it's about being able to, like, heal yourself first and foremost, but to see it from the state that can help you release this. So this was kind of like a big overview, and it's a lot. It's very deep, but these traumas that are in our body need to be healed and released so that we can create the space for this higher light to come in and to connect to more of who we are from a higher state of being. And then we are able to return to more of a physical state of physical healing through this process of alkalizing the body, alkalizing the thoughts. And what that means is decreasing the toxicity within your state of being, mind, body, soul, nutrition, all the above, our hearts, all of that. That's some really deep stuff, but just know, like, I tried to make that as kind of simplified as possible because it's super intense, and I'm trying to crunch in about 30 years of wisdom from my training into, that few minutes. But again, that's where I said that's like an entire book, and I am writing on all of this to help people overcome ascension burnout, and help with tips and tools and techniques to help you physically purge this stuff now, because this is no longer just a soul state of the ascension. It's literally our physical beings are going through purging the trauma so that we can let go of that. So another thing that when I ask about, thank you so much, Stacy. Thanks for that. When I mentioned to you my mantra earlier about letting go of the pattern that created the situation, you can also use that for the condition of your body. So you created the condition in your body through your thoughts, feelings, emotions, and the suppression and the energy. So another way to do that would be, I am ready to release the pattern in me that created this condition. I am ready to release the pattern in me that created this condition, the condition you're experiencing through the physical ailment that's causing you to experience whatever it is you're going through. Okay. Louise Hayes is very good about this and has a book out called Heal Your Body. And, I followed her for years, and she's one of the people that I've learned how to connect to the emotional status of our emotions and how they manifest internally. She has a book on that that's really, really good. In fact, it's like a book that I keep on hand. So, this is something you might want to consider if you really want to connect to, learning more about that. So let me take a look at a few more questions. I know I spent a lot of time on that one. So let's see. I'm trying to check out a few more questions here. So your third eye is hurting yesterday. So I'm going to come back to that 1 second. Yes, we are so powerful. And I love you, that name, Stellar Love. Hello, Elaine. So, all right. So, I want to mention about the chakras. So, all of our chakras are definitely affected in this process of this shift and this purge that we're doing, aside from our body. So, being able to do energy healing and doing a clearing of your physical state, a clearing of your chakras, a clearing of your energy is something that's very good that can help you. Um, and correcting the imbalance in the energy as well, because when you have these polarities inside of you, it's creating an imbalance in your energetic state. And so removing the interference that's blocking you from connecting to this higher frequency is another thing you can do. And to know that when you go through these experiences, they're bringing balance to your soul. So you have to know one side of the experience, which might feel bad, but you also got to know the other side, which is the duality side of the contrast of it. And to know both sides, say if you've abandoned if you're being abandoned, you've also abandoned someone at some point. And so you need to know both sides to bring the balance to your own soul's understanding and experience, to bring that full cycle and full circle to complete the soul's like ability to know what it's like to experience that through lessons. Okay. So we're bringing balance and correcting the imbalances inside of our energetic state from that. We're also then collecting fragments of our soul that we've lost in all lifetimes, all memories, all like dimensions and parallel realities and all these things. And we're collecting all the fragments we've lost. We're also connecting to a higher state of light and a higher state of being to connect to more light and a higher frequency. So that's another thing that we're doing. So um, all right, let's see. Thank you, Cosmic Light, for your feedback on that. And thank you, everyone. And Elaine, you don't like the mirror. Yeah, I know the mirror test can be definitely a challenging thing, because at the end of the day, no matter who it is, it's a mirror of ourselves. And so being willing to see ourselves is huge and important for sure. And I'm just kind of looking back here to see if there's any other questions that came through. I think I covered them. I will respond to more of any questions that's coming up. And I'm just looking here. Stacy, you have said you travel everywhere with that book. Oh yeah, you travel everywhere with this book. Yeah, and you don't leave the country without it. I know. I do too, sitting here working with people all over the world. It's like that's my go-to right there, I basically travel all over the world and don't leave without it either, sitting here at my desk every day. Yeah, it's a very powerful book. It can really help you. Again, if you did not see it, it's Heal Your Body by Louise Hayes, and it can really help benefit you to identify these stored emotions and the patterns and the affirmations that you need to clear and heal within yourself. So make sure if you're really, because this timeline is about connecting to your purpose, and there's a lot of things going on in this timeline of this dimension and this energy and this portal, but it's a lot of it is about connecting to your purpose, and know that your path is your purpose. And if you're really not sure what your path is and these things we talked about who am I and all these things, be sure to check out a link I have below that's going to share with you a link for a 30-day passion project that's free, that can help you connect to the passion and the purpose inside of yourself of all these things we're talking about you unlocking. I have a free program that you can connect to below. On Instagram, you'll have to kind of go into my YouTube channel, maybe connect below. I can also make sure that to have a link to it also in my bio. Okay, I'll make sure to put a link there as well that you can connect to. But in addition to that, if you're really wanting to get into purpose and you have not connected with your purpose and you've done a lot of healing and you're still not sure what your purpose is and you're ready to take it to the next level, I actually have a 6-figure Lightworker blueprint that I also have launched over a year ago. It took me 4 years to create it, and I launched it over a year ago. And so I'll make sure that I have a link below as well, and also in my bio on Instagram, so that you can connect to my 6-figure Lightworker blueprint that can help you unlock that purpose inside of you, and not just unlock it, but to help you bring it into form through being able to identify what your actual purpose is, being able to, target your tribe, nail your niche, and create a logo and monetize your message and package and brand your story and bring that into form. So that's something I can assist you with as well, should that interest you. That is my forte. I do help people heal their soul on many, many levels and many dimensions that we've talked about. But in this timeline, I've been guided to really launch forward and to be ready to help those that need to connect more to purpose do that. So I'm available for that should you need anything. So again, I want to thank all of you for showing up and sharing this space with me during this 12/12 portal that was not planned on my list today, that I woke up and felt guided to come here and share my light with you, and a place of just showing up and sharing. And be sure to let me know how it's impacted you, and let me know, even whether that be live or in a replay, any questions you might have and how I might support you. I send you so much love, light, and liberation, and I look forward to seeing you in future videos. And if you're not connected with me on any social media any social media platform, the platform handle is Twin Flame Expert on all platforms. So I look forward to seeing you on those and sending everyone so much love and light. I love all of you. And I can't wait to see you in the next video. And may you always face your fears, find freedom, and glow forward on fire. Love you loads. Love you, Stacy. Love all of you. Okay. Much love.